And don't be afraid to say, and please wake me up if there's a chance I'm going to forget it. I'm Silver, the Rogue Yogi, a born clairvoyant, near-death experiencer, and spiritual pragmatist. Dream visitations, the 2 reasons why they happen and how to make sense of them. So it's really simple. When someone or something or a pet or an angel or whatever, it might be something inanimate, comes to visit you in a dream, it is because either, and this is where you need to look backwards, you had thought of that kind of energy that presence brings, or at some point recently, you've thought of that actual presence. And when that happens, like attracts like. So whatever you're thinking about in the realm of spirit, whenever we're thinking about something, the divine essence of that thing or that person is immediately with us. When I was dead in the spirit realm, I experienced no time. Like, I guess I could say to you, before I could think the first syllable of a word, of a sentence, it was already done and I was already there. So if you've had a meaningful thought about someone or something of late, that is going to magnetize that energy right back to you in your dream. The second reason you may have a visitation is because that person or that symbol or that deity or that pet has a message for you. Because if you're wondering if you had a dream visitation, that already means something specifically spiritual has happened just by the fact that you can recall this dream. That alone makes it worthy of dating and journaling. I've been doing that with all of my experiences for like over 8 years. And it's been one of the most satisfying things I've ever experienced. So if you haven't been thinking about, let's say, your grandmother, but she comes to you in a dream, this is where you break it down to find out why. And we're going to go Carl Jung style. He broke down dreams in the most easy way. The number 1 most important thing to Carl Jung when analyzing your dreams was, do you have a personal connection, a personal history, a personal significant emotion attached to what's in the dreams? So if it was your grandmother, let's say you loved her, but there was a sense you felt like, I could have done more to spend more time with her. And that's your personal experience with your grandmother. If your grandmother is coming in your dream, you most likely have a personal connection there. And that is like the top of the triage for Carl Jung. So you want to take that and be like, okay, she's visiting me to nudge me about the feeling of loving someone, but feeling bad about maybe not giving it as much energy or time or care as you really mean to. The second most important thing when you're breaking down your dreams is the overarching emotion. So let's say it was a stranger, and you didn't know this person. And you're like, well, why did this random stranger come to me in my dream? Forget that you don't know them. Just think back, what was your emotional reaction to this person? Did this person elicit a feeling of compassion or fear or doubt? Whatever emotion that person or that presence elicited, that is an emotion that your higher self or your inner self is trying to tell you, hey, I need you to look through the lens of this emotion at your life. And then the third layer of breaking down a dream is the most simple layer, and that is more archetypal, less personal. Like, for example, in so many different ways and methods, water stands for emotion. And I had a dream the other night, and it was amazing. It was the first dream I've had like this, maybe ever, where I was laying on a mat on water that was so crystal clear. And I was just waving my hand in it, and I looked down and I could see all the way through to the bottom. Like, it was as clear as glass. And in the dream, I was just like enchanted by this. And that's something that's pretty archetypal. Like, if you have water in your dream, and I'll use myself as an example, there were years on end where I would wake up in night terrors over the same dream of trying not to be killed by a tsunami. That's like out of control water. That's so much bigger than I am, and I have no control over it, and it's going to crush me. And that's how I've often felt about my emotions and my experiences for so long. And so this other dream that came to me the other night, where the water was still and crystal clear, was shocking. Because my only experience with water has ever been the killer tsunami. It's a big deal. So you do want to think on this third level of things like archetypes, like the sun, the magician. Think of, if you don't know this, I'm not sure, but like the hero's journey and all the different kinds of archetypes that hero encounters. Because no matter what you're dreaming about, everything in that dream that you blessedly recalled, which is huge, is for you. It is to illuminate for you in a helpful way every time. If you want to give this experiment a try, it doesn't always work, but it does sometimes. Ask a question as you're falling asleep, and ask your higher self if they would answer in your dream. And don't be afraid to say, and please wake me up if there's a chance I'm going to forget it. I've gotten clear answers that way. Not all the time, but enough of the time to make a real difference in my life. I'll meet you in the next one.